everyone. My name is Jackie Anderson, and I am excited to bring you this video to talk about meditation. I think right now, really always, especially in our society, in our day and age, slowing down, taking time to connect with yourself is extremely important. The yogis have known this for thousands of years. And modern science is catching up, right? So Harvard, the leading universities, Yale, they're discovering through studies that meditation is healing. They say 89 to 95% of all of our disease in this planet is psychosomatic. So it's stemming from our thoughts. It's stemming from our reactions to life. So life happens. Things happen in our life. Some things we plan for, some things happen sporadically. Some things cause heartache, challenges, obstacles. Sometimes it's easy, right? These are called the ebbs and flow. But life happens, continues to happen. How we respond is creating the stress or lack thereof, right? So our response to the things that are happening around us. And going a little deeper into yoga, Buddha says that the root of all of our suffering stems from attachments. And we have all these different attachments to the roles that we wear, the masks that we wear, attachments to being a yoga teacher or a school teacher or a mother or a doctor, right? We have these masks, these personas that we have to show up for. And the more things that we do, the more masks we wear. And the more masks we wear, the further away we're moving from our true self, from our true nature. And so these attachments that we create, we have to get married by a certain time. We have to have children. We have to buy that house. We have to get that great job. We have to buy that car. All of these things that have been kind of defined to us as the American dream, we're attached to. And so what happens when that doesn't happen by our certain time, with this certain agenda that we play out in our mind, we create stress, stressful emotions. We beat ourselves up, we're hard on ourselves, we get sad, we feel alone, we feel like there's nobody else out there experiencing what we're experiencing. And that couldn't be further from the truth. As human beings, yes, we're all unique, yes, we're all different, and that's the beautiful part of our race and our species. But at the core of who we are, our true self, our Atman, we're one, right? We're that pure light of consciousness, that blank canvas that's ready to be created and painted. That stillness, that love, that light. And often we don't ever get to experience that because we're too caught up in the noise and the chaos and the to-dos and all of these things that we are measuring our success in our life on. So what I hope to bring to you today is a simple practice of negating that. Right, of slowing down. And I hear, probably the number one thing I hear as a studio owner and a yoga teacher is, I can't meditate because my mind is too busy. And my answer 100% of the time is, then you need to meditate. I can't do yoga because I can't touch my toes. Okay, so again, attachments, these are stories. That's not real, that's not a fact. That's a story and opinion that we've created out of fear of rejection or not being good or whatever it may be. So the practice of meditating, it's a practice. It's an art. Just like you come to your mat and when you first start, plank is so hard, maybe 5-10 years into it, you can actually do a plank and maybe chaturanga and keep the breath and keep the stamina. But it's a practice, and your meditation is no different, right? It's no different. So they say that the only truly way to benefit from a meditation practice is for it to be daily. And you hear a lot of different systems and styles of yoga that preach that same message. I agree, but I do know that life happens. I do know that we are a multifaceted race and we have lots of dimensions that are happening at one time. Especially as women, we're pulled in multiple directions. Usually as we open our eyes, the pulling starts. So you have to want this for one, and you have to create the space and the time for this. And I'm not going to say 30 minutes to an hour, although that's what I hope you get up to. It's simple, right? It's a simple practice, 5 to 10 minutes a day. We all have 5 or 10 minutes that we can devote to ourselves, right? This is healing. This is what we need. The only time the mind gets a break is when we force it, when we control it to slow down. That's meditating, right? Even when we sleep, the mind's going. So meditation, what is it? A lot of people say, is it to be without thoughts? I can't be without thoughts. I have never been without a thought, and I meditate every day. So no, it's not to be without thoughts. It's to be in control, to be aware of the thoughts, right? So the practice of yoga is to what? Slow the fluctuations of the mind. Slow the monkey mind, the chaotic being, the chaotic boo, 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 all over the place into a state of concentration. And that's really where our meditation practice is. It's a state of concentration. It's concentrating the mind on one thing so all the other noise settles. And what you'll notice happens is that it's like this tug of war. When you first start, it's like, okay, quiet the mind. Everything's coming at you. All of these to-dos, all of these emotions, stick with it, right? So who's gonna win the tug of war? Keep breathing, keep repeating your mantra, which we'll talk about in a minute. Keep meditating or concentrating. And eventually the resistance settles. The fighting back settles and you enter into the state of, right, a release, a let go. So the type of meditation that we're going to practice today, and it's usually the one that I practice most days, it's repeating a mantra, it's repeating something. So go back to like when you were a kid and you had trouble sleeping, your mom probably taught you how to count sheep. It's the same process. It's giving the mind one thing to focus on, one direction. We go a little deeper with it. We use law of attraction and the secret to manifest goodness into us. So we pick a mantra, right? And we repeat that. We try to stay and hold that concentration for however long the meditation is. Now, another way you can do that is focusing on the breath. But in true meditation, it's not a pranayama practice, not a breath practice. It's a very subtle breath, very subtle movement, very subtle practice. But it's a progression. So if the breath is what keeps you focused, that's what you can use. I encourage everybody to sit up for the meditation for 2 reasons. 1, if you lie down, more likely to fall asleep. And 2, you're not creating the skeleton support to support the body, right? So we want the engagement of the core. We want the neutral pelvic area. We don't want to dump or slouch, right? So a nice strong core, so we have a nice strong spine. But more so what happens when we do this, we get uncomfortable, right? The longer we hold, our body starts, it's called the pain body, it'll start talking to you. And the mind is going to say, run, get out, go. But you as the practitioner, yourself, the one that needs this is going to say, no, stay. I'm going to stay in this fire. I know when I first started meditating, I felt almost claustrophobic. I felt like I wanted to run and scream, like I was being held down. Really weird because you're just sitting here, right? So try to find stillness. That's really the first practice. And I'm not going to get too much into it, but we have different layers of our body. The physical is what we're most connected with. So we can be aware of the fidgeting, the moving, the wiping, the tapping. Try to prevent that. So you're just going to sit up nice and tall. Right? You're going to pick your mantra. Mantra, I am. If you want to go in Sanskrit, it's so hum. That alone is the most powerful mantra you can take. I am. You want to go deeper and fill it in? I am strong. I am love. I am light. I am forgiveness. I am accepting. I love myself. Whatever it is you need, and we all need a little pep talk. Say it enough, see it enough, think it enough, talk it enough, it becomes you, right? Fake it till you make it. So if you need to grab a prop or a pillow to sit on to elevate the hips, you can. Know that your legs might fall asleep. Know that you might get some discomfort or tension or pain in the body. Try to resist it. Try to sit in that fire or that discomfort, but remain calm and peaceful in the mind, right? Because it starts there. Whatever thought you feed is going to grow and manifest. So if the thought comes up, oh my gosh, I need to get out of this pose, and you keep thinking that, you're going to get out of the pose. Now, if the thought comes up, oh my gosh, my leg is so uncomfortable, I need to move. But instead, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to try to stay 5 more breaths. Now, if it gets to a point that you just can't be there anymore, it's simple. Conscious, intentional movement, right? So leg is asleep. I extend it out, right back into my meditation. It's not moving all around, right? So in, Intentional movement, right? And then come back. Okay, so I'm gonna walk us through a few breaths, and then we're just gonna meditate. I'm gonna only do about 10 minutes of the full meditation, and then I'll summarize everything that we talked about and give you a practice to take home with you, okay? So sit up nice and tall. The palms, if they're up, are receiving. The palms are down, it's preserving that energy in, and we're grounding with yourself. Shoulders down, away from the ears. The ribs are knitted in, so you don't want to display the belly out. Everything is knitted in. Tailbone roots down, the hip points come up. Let me demonstrate that here. So we don't want to be here. We want to be here, right? Belly's knitted, tailbone down. Chin parallel to the mat. Close the eyes, okay? Exhale all the air out of the nose. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale. Slowing the mind. Exhale. Focus on that breath. Absorb yourself in the inhalations and the exhalations. Relaxing the jaw. Inhale. Exhale. Relax the forehead, the cheeks, the shoulders, the jaw, neutral spine still. 5 more. Inhale. Exhale. For 4. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You can continue that breath if you'd like, or let the breath return to its natural. Another practice is I focus on the third eye. So I hold my attention into that pineal gland, center of intuition, that soul's guidance. Relax the jaw, let the lips part slightly. You can relax the eyelids, the eyebrows, even the eyes. And just notice you're maintaining that breath, and that is your meditation practice today. If you allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm, come into that mantra repetition. I am light. And be clear, be bold with what it is you're seeking. Your intention is your desire, your deepest desire. What it is you need to balance you out. Love, light, forgiveness, 11 qualities of the heart, of the mind, of the soul. And as your mind pulls you out, as you become distracted, and you will, and it's okay, just bring it back. Remember, you're almost in a tug of war with yourself, with your ego. Your ego's job is to make you comfortable. But we all know that growth, expansion, does not happen when we're comfortable. When we're challenged, when we're uncomfortable, our character shows. And you maintain stillness, peace, grounding energy through the fire, through the chaos. You meditate every day you can, because you begin a sense of control over your emotions. Not emotionless, just in control of your emotions. You know they will pass. You know they don't define you. You know that you are not the emotion. But you are that beautiful, soft space between that we are trying to experience here. Practicing being. any do. Just observing, witnessing, becoming. If you've drifted off, bring it back. Back to the room, back to your body, back where you are. And start to bring the awareness back. Bring the fingertips and the toes. Take a deep breath in. Just open the mouth, side out. And bring your hands to heart center down your head. Take a moment. Repeat your intention. And then we release it. We don't try to control and manipulate and guide us to it. We set the intention, and release the outcome. Release any attachment to the outcome. Trusting life, trusting the process. And go ahead and release the hands and you can lift the eyes open. So that was roughly probably about 7 to 8 minutes. So what I encourage, there's a great app if silence is too much for you and you enjoy more podcasts, and it's kind of a progression, right? So a lot of times you start with a podcast, a guided meditation, and maybe you move to music, and then maybe you remove the music and you sit in silence. And one's not better or worse or superior or inferior, they're just different, and they're different tools and different techniques that hopefully will work for, one of them will work for you. So my suggestion is to do this every single day. Of course, I start my day this way. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 30 minutes, sometimes it's 10 minutes. I do suggest over 5 minutes. So 7 minutes is my threshold to start with. And that's because usually around minute 4 or 5, you're at the peak of like resisting the stillness. And after that, you feel you'll feel a release, right? So 7 minutes minimum, right when you wake up, step out of bed. You don't really want to do it in bed unless you sit up because you'll fall back asleep. So step off bed, even if it's right on the floor. It doesn't have to be this like miraculous meditation room, right? It just has to be a place that is private and that you can have some privacy to go with it, right? Without being distracted. So find that space. It can be a bathroom, a closet, it doesn't matter. And then grab your timer, grab your phone, grab whatever it is, maybe not a phone, that might distract you. Maybe not even a timer, maybe just go in and sit, see how long you do, check the time before you go in. But if you're somebody who has to market, 7 minutes minimum. Do 7 minutes for a week, and then the second week, add 3 minutes, so go to 10 minutes. A week, add 3 minutes, go to 13 minutes, right? So from there, you'll progress up, and you'll notice you'll get to a point where it's not long enough, right? So right now, it might have felt like, when is this going to be over? How long have we been here? All of these stories and reactions in our mind. The job of the practitioner, you, is to acknowledge it, to know that they're there and say, okay, quiet, come into the breath. I'm going to breathe in, I'm going to breathe out, or come back to my mantra. I am powerful, I am light, I am love. So not getting caught up in the distractions. So wake up in the morning, 7 minutes minimum, you add 3 minutes each week and make it consistent. If you skip a day, that's okay, but jump right back onto it. And then if you want to go even deeper, right? 7 minutes in the morning, 7 minutes right before bed. And what I add on to either one is 3 things I'm grateful for. So before I go to bed is usually that one. If I meditate, I don't always do it before bed, but meditate. And then right before I get into my bed, I write down 3 things I'm grateful for, whether it's on my notepad or my phone, wherever it is, just to write it down, get it out of there, and to cultivate gratitude, because gratitude really is something that has to be cultivated. So that's the practice. It will drastically shift and transform your life in ways that I can't even explain to you, because I didn't believe it when people told me this, and I resisted the practice for so long because to me, sitting here was not producing. As I've gotten older and more in depth of yoga, I've realized producing isn't always good. The balance of it, right? Sitting down, relaxing, going in, being. So important, especially right now in this time of day. Lots of stress, lots of fear all around us, and we can't control that. But what we can control is ourselves. What we can do is focus on how we're feeling and work through that process. So I hope this helped you, and I hope it finds you well. And if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or on Facebook. Either my handle, Jackie Anderson, or Hula Yogas is fine as well. And I guess that's it. I had one more thing, but I can't remember what it is right now. But remember, it's a practice. It's a daily practice. It's a discipline. It becomes a new way of living. It's not something you do in a place that you achieve and then you move on. Once you stop practicing, you lose it, right? So namaste. Thank you so much.